If you wanna know the truth, I'll push a P to a noose. S on my chest like my ex went to Cuse. She get undressed over wine and prosciutto, trying to find me some peace off the dome like salute. I planted seeds, now it's back to my...
What's going on, everybody? I am Adam Dash, and welcome to another live sound-centric interview. Today I'm with my guy, Nikmoody.
My dude, how we doing?
How are we feeling?
Good, man. That was fun.
Nice, beautiful day in New York City. Nick just did On the Radar.
I did.
One of the most culturally significant rap things you can do right now. He's been doing ciphers for years, making music for years. But what did that moment feel like for you?
It was surreal because the reason why I got up there is somebody I did ciphers with 5 years ago when I was first starting, and he was the reason why I got there today. Yeah. So it's kind of a full circle moment, you know what I mean? Like all the work kind of paying off and being on a platform like that where I could showcase my stuff. It's, you know, it's a big deal. So,
is there a difference for you between doing a cipher, because obviously you're with a bunch of people, there's a room full of people, versus in that situation, talking to a camera?
Totally different. It's different because you're feeding off energy, I feel like, in ciphers. And if you mess up, you can roll with the mess up and change things up as you go on the fly. Whereas you're in there and you're recorded, like the energy, I get high, you know, I project, I start yelling. I had to make sure that I didn't do that, because when you do that on a microphone, it doesn't work. So it's definitely different, but I think that the results will be the same. So I think, you know.
And you've been making some amazing music recently, but also going along with it is an incredible short film that you've been releasing piece by piece. We got a little WandaVision action going on. It's crazy. Tell me about that.
Long process. I come from a background of screenwriting, and I've been around film for a long time as well. So. You know, when I started making this album, me and Bluff were in the studio making stuff that seemed, you know, we were super inspired by Euphoria and like creating very cinematic stuff. I thought the best way to showcase that was to couple it with a movie, a short film, and we cut it up into episodes that correlate with each song, and it's like one big movie musical. And it was a long process, a lot of work. To be honest, I don't even know how we pull it off half the time, because so many moving parts, so much time spent by everybody involved, but I'm grateful for how long you know. I think it's one of those things where later on in my career, people can go back to that and be like, wow, that was something that I can't believe that they did that with what they had. And I tell you what, if they give us a budget, I already have the whole squad ready. You know, so you know that was a good thing about it, is that we developed a team in the process. So. You know, it hasn't been seen by the masses yet, but it will be. I do believe it.
And there's been recent discussion about how music videos are dead. I totally disagree with that. Because there's like the short form content, but there still can be creativity in that. And Childish Gambino's made a screenplay before, or Because of the Internet. When you think of the best music videos from artists, who are your go-tos?
Kendrick Lamar is unbelievable. All Right is insane. Even the shots that he gets on, a lot of the movie was inspired by a lot of the turn-ins that they do in those videos. I love that he doesn't.
He has a style right now.
It's just it's a different kind of thing. Even with what am I thinking? Humble, the shots that they got in that video. Like I studied all of those. Like how he made the shakiness on the Last Supper scene that he made, kind of. How did they do that, and like the meaning behind each shot? He's number one. I mean, what Little Dicky's been able to do with, I know that, you know, a lot of people look at him like, oh, it's jokes, but it's like, if you really look at his creativity, it's off the charts. It's like he's as good as it gets with his show and obviously his music videos too, with Brain and you know, all those things.
I used to play that song normally without the video.
No, it's great. Listen, man, I'm not one of those guys. I love Lil Dicky.
This bitch don't know about Pangea.
That's the best. Lil Dicky's definitely one of them. Who else?
A$AP Rocky always has crazy ones.
He does.
I think A$AP Forever. I don't know how they made that with the whole transitions. That's like the coolest thing ever to me.
What's that thing? LSD. That video is nuts.
Lamborghini High has like a cool edit going on.
It does. I'm trying to think of somebody else that really inspires me. Obviously, Childish, you mentioned. He's great. He's great. There's one more though that's sticking out that I can't think of as we speak. I'll think of it.
You got it. But I also was talking to you earlier about how I love how artists can talk about things they love outside of rap within their music, and that kind of shows. You're a big basketball guy.
Big time, yeah.
But like, what are some things you love to talk about in your rap that's just outside of your love for this craft?
Italian food.
Italian food.
Italian
Yes.
anything. Italian anything. No, it's just this is my culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you listen to a good Action Bronson verse where he's talking about, you know, cutting up salmon or whatever he's doing. It's because he was a chef. You know what I mean? I work in an Italian restaurant. My whole family is Italian. Like, you know, me shouting out Gallimard and cannolis is not a weird thing. It's just who I am.
It's what you live.
Yeah, you know, and the same thing with basketball. I played basketball my whole life. So, like, how am I not going to make a bar about Peja Stojakovic? Like, you have to. You have to throw it in there.
100%.
You know what I mean?
We love those obscure references.
Peja Stojakovic is as good as any.
That type of stuff. I love a good like random cartoon reference from someone where I'm like, yes, let's go.
I threw a Static Shock bar in there. I got
There
a
we
couple
go,
of
there we
Static
go.
Shock bars.
If you wanna know the truth, I'll push a Peter with noose. That's on my chest like my ex went to Q's. She get undressed over wine and Brazil, trying to find me some peace off the dome like salute. I planted seeds, now it's back to my roots. Italian Long Island is me and my youth. They get me on for the green like it's Seuss. This what happens when Stu Kid is leaving his stoop. I'm just doing what it
So I feel like there's a debate amongst artists these days about releasing full bodies of work and just releasing singles or maybe short little EPs.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about these days?
I mean, if I had a bigger platform, I would only do albums. But as an up-and-comer, I don't think it makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's why we have like a monthly rollout, whereas each month is a song. And they're kind of doing like that waterfall effect, where if they sequence correctly in the album, we'll put them all together.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there was AWOL came out, and it just so happens that the 2 songs I had put out previously were next in the album order.
Yeah.
So we just put it out as the 3-pack. And that'll continue until the album drops in October. So just single by single, trying to get people dragged in, because if you do get them with one, when you put the album out, it'll be on there with the whole thing.
Yeah.
And now you get the whole product as one.
I like the waterfall method, which
Yeah.
is kind of what you're talking about, where you drop a single, then the next single, it's like all part of one tape. It
Yeah.
kind of just like adds up into an album.
Again, like I wouldn't choose to do it that way, but I just think that it's just the way that the world is right now. And like, if you can catch somebody with one song, that's your best bet than trying to get somebody with an album, because people aren't listening to albums to people they don't know. They barely listen to them to the people they do know. So, you know, a lot of people just skip around, go to features. They don't listen from top to bottom, you know? You just got to try to build your fan base as best you can, and then when it comes time, when you know that they're there, then you drop the album, I think.
So I feel like there's songs you can make where you're like, it just sounds like an intro song, or it just sounds like a closing song.
For sure.
So it's the debate of like, do you put your best song as the first song and get the fan in right away?
Yeah.
Or I have this song and it just sounds like an intro. And like we grew up both loving albums.
Yeah, yeah.
So like my favorite songs, like you hear like what's the To Pimp a Butterfly, I'm blanking on the name. Wesley's Theory. Something like that. Like it just sounds like an intro or a Good Morning off Graduation or something.
Yeah.
Which also happen to be hit songs. But like, or you can just grab them all with a big feature because you know they're gonna skip through anyway. So like put it.
A lot of people do now too. Is the single that hit is the intro. That's
Yeah.
been doing that too. I don't really love that, but you know, like look at what Frank Ocean with Nikes. You know what I mean? Like that's clearly the best song on that album, I think. He led with it as a quick single before the album, and now you know people are going to roll into the rest of the songs because of that. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand it. You know what I mean? Like you can't knock that.
Yeah.
Because people are going to listen to the next song if you listen to that song. So.
And who are some people you're looking at? Either they can be fellow rising artists or established people that you're like, that was a creative way to go about doing your business. On top of just the amazing music, that you're like, I would love to maybe innovate off of that or base something I'm doing off of that.
Well, I always like. We've been talking about him a lot today, but Code of the Friend found a cheat code with those lyric videos.
100%.
He was doing them before anybody really thought about doing that. And it was a cheap, easy way for him to do it. He barely doesn't need anybody to shoot it.
Yeah.
So when he did that, I was like, oh man, that's innovative. Because like, you know, like you said, like music videos, I don't know if they're dying, but there's no reason to be spending a lot of money on a music video.
It's cost-effective. And
Yeah,
it's engaging with
that's what I'm saying. There are ways to find like little idiosyncrasies within your own music that don't cost much, and you know you could do it quick and easy and promote the song just as good as you would as I spent on the short film that I just made. But you know, it really depends on what works for you, I guess.
And what are some of the goals for the year? I mean, we obviously accomplished something huge today, but What are we looking at for the future? What do we want to do for the rest of the year?
I want to find my way on to like bigger shows with bigger artists,
Yeah.
opening for somebody that's a little bit more established where I can be in front of a bigger crowd, hopefully get on a tour. That's always been the goal. I think live performance is my strong suit. Being on stage with a microphone is what I want to do. That's where I get my joy more than anything. Yeah, it's my favorite thing. So that's the main goal. I mean, the album should be out by October. That'll be big. The short film is also being submitted to film festivals.
Hey.
So hopefully that's another goal of ours, is to land something like a South by Southwest. Like obviously Canes Festival would be crazy, but or Cons. I don't really know if you say either or. Even like Tribeca, is it Canes?
Yeah, I think it's Canes.
All right,
I might be wrong too.
I don't really
We'll
know.
go with it.
Tribeca, it doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
just landing something of that stature, and being able to premiere it there and come back home, and then actually, because everyone's been asked, because we've been cliffhanging everybody with every episode, and then people are, I guess, a little frustrated by it, but that's a good frustration because you want to watch the next one. So that was the whole point. So for me, it's getting on a tour, and it's getting that film into a film festival, and hopefully, that pushes the album that me and Bluff made even further than it was going to go.
Bluff behind the camera. Good guy.
Great guy.
But tell the people, where can they find you?
Just Nikmoody, N-I-K Moody, no C, because I incorporated all. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter, NIKMoody_. I have Nikmoody.com. All the episodes and everything's on there. My YouTube is the same. It's Nikmoody. We're going to be pushing a lot more content. It's an episode and a song every single month leading up to the album in October and the film next year. So if you tap in now, you're in for a ride. You know what I mean?
It's one of the best rappers out right now. It's one of the most creative people out right now.
My God.
Have to tune in on the Radar Freestyle. One of the best they've ever done. They're happy they got this man right here.
Appreciate you.
I'm Adam-DASH_ on Twitter, Instagram, Soundcentric Music, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Reddit, all of them. And we'll see you next time. My dog.
My dude.